The Chevy Florida Insider Fishing Report is brought to you by Chevy, the Florida Lottery, Best Parts, Best Prices, Bennett Auto Supply, Contender Boats, Performance Through Innovation, Navionics, We Start Where the Roads End, and Guy Harvey, artist, explorer, marine scientist, conservationist, and diver.
We gave it a fully boxed high-strength steel frame and hydraulic body mounts for a comfortable ride. Because the things you carry are even heavier than the things you haul. Dependable, reliable Chevy Silverado HD.
Continuing the revolution. Faster, drier, even better built. Designed around Yamaha's latest technology outboards. Still built by the same craftsmen and anglers who launched the Bay Boat Revolution. Whether chasing world records, or time on the water with the family, or anything in between, there's a new Pathfinder model for you. Pathfinder, #1 for a reason, still.
For over 30 years, Guy Harvey has masterfully captured the wonder of marine wildlife in his artwork. Now he's sharing his inspiration with the Florida Lottery by creating 12 exclusive images for the Collector Series Guy Harvey Scratch-Off game, featuring a top prize of $50,000 and a second chance opportunity to fish with Guy Harvey himself. Celebrate the beauty and riches of Florida with Guy Harvey Scratch-Off games today. The Florida Lottery. Just imagine.
It's 200 streamlined horsepower of Yamaha forward thinking. The all-new F200 inline 4-stroke. Whether you're an offshore angler, pontoon cruiser, bay boater, or walleye hunter, the responsive and fuel-efficient F200 combines amazing power and versatility in one incredibly compact and lightweight package. The all-new F200. Legendary Yamaha reliability and the freedom of forward thinking.
Make sure you check out our website at the Chevy Florida Insider Fishing Report.com, where you can get daily reports from our 9 captains. Also, if you'd like to be featured on our show, upload your best photos to our Facebook page. And if you'd like to be part of our audience, you can register there as well. Okay, Rick, let's get to the Central East with Captain Jim Ross. Jim, how common are the marlin in your region?
Well, they're not real common, Lauren. Most of the guys that are fishing on the west side of the Gulf Stream are lucky, and if they get one, it's an accidental catch by most guys on this side of the stream. Most of our blue and white marlin, our caught while guys, are yellowfin tuna fishing on the east side of the Gulf Stream, and they normally start, right around that eastern edge, and then they go out to about the 100-mile mark. The majority of those blue marlin are pretty small, 125 to about 250 pounds, but occasionally somebody will get one. It's up around the 400-pound mark or so. So, we don't get a lot of them. And the white marlin, they generally come through in the spring, and the migration is early spring to midsummer. They prefer the water depths of about 100 to 600 feet. Those fish generally run about 80 to 130 pounds when we do get them. What we are getting a lot of, because we have another cold water upwelling going on right now, is amberjack, though. And those fish are pretty consistent throughout the entire region on the inshore and nearshore wrecks and structure. So what you guys want to do is get out here in the CCA region and go find something that's basically in about the 70 to out to about the 140-foot mark. Now, for these fish, they're going to be positioned over the top of the structure that they're holding on, so you can not have to go all the way to the bottom when the water's cold. You want to put a live bait in that middle part of the water column, and you can also sometimes you can get them on popping plugs and stuff like that right up top. So that's always a pretty cool thing to be able to do. And our average amberjack is running right around 30 pounds. Now, going inshore, speckled trout have been very, very consistent this week. And really, even though it's been soggy, most of the anglers in the Mosquito Lagoon have been doing very good. And the largest trout of the season have been coming in from the Mosquito Lagoon recently. Rapala skitterwalk seem to be working really, really good when you're working them around mullet pods first thing in the morning, especially at the dawn and dusk time frames. That's what's accounting for the larger trout, especially up in the real shallow waters in the south portion of the lagoon. Now, a little later in the day, you want to switch to some pigfish, pinfish, mullet, or ladyfish, and you can cut those and put them on the deeper flats or the dredge holes. That's what Captain Mike Mann has been doing this week. You'll get slot-sized fish doing that as well. You'll also get slot-sized fish around the Vero and Sebastian area working the dock lights, and also up around Edgewater and New Smyrna. You can free line some live shrimp through those areas, through those lighted docks. Or you can throw that assassin shrimp cocktail in the Arkansas Glow color. That seems to be working pretty good as well. I've been catching fish on that one in the daytime when you put it on a weedless weighted worm hook. Now, some of those trout, like I said, were big, and I've got a photo here of Justin Ritchie. He has a 31-inch Mosquito Lagoon trout that he just recently caught. That's one heck of a speckled trout, no matter where you fish in the state of Florida. But we've been getting fish like that pretty commonly the last month.
Congratulations, Justin. Go ahead. Tell me what else is inshore there, Jimbo.
Now, the redfish are on the same flats that the trout are on in the Indian River and the Mosquito Lagoons. You want to get out there early. They're dropping off into the deeper areas, flats and holes in the middle of the day. The best places right now are the docks in the middle of the day between Rockledge and Pineda, and then again between Dragon Point and Pickup. Live shrimp, live finger mullet, or cut ladyfish seem to be working real good. Also, the saltwater assassin 4-inch sea shad and the roadkill or the copper juice colors are working really well if you put them on a 1/8-ounce hookup jig head. The average red in my CCA Central East region is running about 20 to 25 inches right now. And I've got a photo of Dr. Andrew Lloyd here with a nice redfish that he caught the other day while he was out. And he caught that in the middle of the day pretty much on a piece of cut ladyfish.
All right, thanks for the pics, Jim. We're going to go ahead and look at the Central East hotspots from the Central East region. Captain Jim says inshore trout in the Mosquito Lagoon. Use skitterwalk plugs early and then switch to live pigfish later in the day. And then offshore amberjacks on the wrecks in 90 to 160-foot depths. You want to use live pogies on a large VMC. Circle hook for those AJs.
Okay, good stuff. You want to check in with Captain Page?
You're driving the bus.
Then I say we do it. In the Central West is where we have Captain Jeff Page. Captain Page, you have Marlin, but you better pack your tenacity to match, right?
That's right. In the Central West region, you guys, you better have the boat and the fuel to get out to them. But once you're out there, and we're talking 130 miles on out, once you're out there, the main thing that you're going to be looking for, and I'm sure other guys have mentioned this tonight, is temperature breaks. Color change can help, but temperature break is number one. You know, once you've found that right temperature change, look for the white marlins. A lot of the guys like to use rig ballyhoos for them. And then the blue marlins, they'll troll the black barts in the Black Bart Minis 1656 or Striper Candy, or then another lure that the guys like to use is the Blue Water Primo lure in the Rick's Fancy, named after Captain Rick Murphy, of course, in a variety of colors.
Of course.
Yeah, the big marlin.
And in a variety of colors. And I have two photos tonight, both provided by Double Nickel Charters out of Sarasota. The first one is a really nice airborne blue marlin that they caught while they were fighting it. They happened to snap that photo just right, Captain Will and Rick of Double Nickel Charters. And then the second photo is of a white marlin caught by Colt Parton in 2,000 feet of water off Sarasota aboard the Double Nickel.
All right, good job on the photos there, Jeffrey. Okay, what else you have offshore, Buck?
Offshore, the mangrove snapper bite. Don't forget, though, in the entire region and the entire state, I'm pretty sure, the gag groupers are open. So don't be surprised if you catch the gags mixed in with my mangrove snapper.
Okay.
The mangrove snapper bite still cooperating in 80 to 120 feet of water over wrecks, springs, and ledges. Live pinfish or live select shrimp are your best bait. But if you can't come up with either of those, cut sardines, cut ladyfish, anything cut and chunk bait will work. And the water is nowhere near as clear as it was, Rick, thanks to the almost foot of rain that we've received over the last few days. So don't worry so much. I did have in my report to bump your leader down, but right now, 30 to 40-pound fluoro will work fine for the mangrove snapper. And they've been averaging, anywhere from 3 pounds to up to 6 to 8 pounds. So it's a really good, consistent mangrove bite. Moving inshore, species 1, redfish. Redfish are in full swing up and under the bushes as these temperatures of the water heat up. But once again, with our rain that we've had, don't look for them all up under the bushes. As a matter of fact, we've got a lot of small patch bait, small sizzle bait out on the flats, especially early morning. Don't be surprised if you see the reds out feeding on the sizzle bait. Get out there with some topwater plugs, throw it in and around the bait schools for some good topwater action. Now, once the tide has come in and the fish have moved up into the bushes, you want to cast chunk ladyfish, chunk pinfish, even a live pilchard as far up under the bushes as you can. 20-pound braid is suggested with a 30-pound shock leader of fluorocarbon so that you can get these fish out of the bushes. Artificials, it's tough to beat a saltwater assassin, golden brim going for the win on a sea shad on a 1/4 ounce hookup chartreuse jig head. Chartreuse is going to show up in the tannic water real well. You know, once the tide is dumped, look for the fish to be out in the deeper holes and troughs and edges off the shoreline. Average redfish, 24, 28 inches. Species 2, tarpon. Due to the late start, Rick, which normally we get rolling early May, our tarpon fishery didn't get going until mid-May, even 3/4 way through May. The tarpon bite still remains strong along the beaches from Boca Grande to Egmont Key. Live crabs or thread fins have been the best bet, but anglers are doing real well with flies, especially up on top of the bars, Rick, around Big Pass and Passage Key bars. And look for the schools of poons to stay together right through this full moon, which occurs in late July. I've got a photo tonight that Captain Justin Moore sent me with a fish not quite as big as the one I reported on last week, but still a big fish, 81 inches long and a 40-inch girth. He caught in the middle of the day on a live thread fin.
Jeffrey, I got a question for you before we go.
Go ahead.
My question is, you know, in Flamingo, our snapper fishing, like you reported, offshore, 30 to 40 feet of water, even out to 100 feet of water is really good. But it also happens in the grass flats right there in Flamingo in those channels. Does the same thing occur in your region during this time of year, even though you reported them as being offshore?
It's funny you ask that because, yes, it does. Now, we don't catch those big mangs that those guys like Captain Chris Seeger and them get. But, yes, they do get on the grass flats, and I believe, once again, it's due to all that fluctuation of the small hatch bait. I'll be throwing on pilchards with my cast net, and I'll even get a few snappers in the cast net. So, yes, your answer is most definitely they come in on the grass flats, and they are keeper size, but they're not as big as those offshore mangs.
All right, the other question I have for you, you know, for a long time you've been saving your money to become a life member of CCA. Why was that so important to you, bud?
Well, it's important for me, Rick, because I'm not getting any younger, and what I've noticed in the short time that I've been guiding, which is 12, 13 years, is the decline and the fall-off of our fisheries. And without CCA managing our fisheries like they do, going to bat for us in the legislation like they do, that we're going to be losing this battle, which we're so, you know, everybody should start stepping up to the plate. And I'm issuing a challenge to the other guides, especially the younger guides, to go ahead and join as a lifetime member. Yeah, it's a little bit of a hit, but in the long run, it's going to help all of us and our kids especially.
Absolutely, and it's a one-and-done thing, guys. It's not an annual thing that you pay $25. It's a $1,000 membership, Lauren. What's really cool about it is $954 of that $1,000 goes towards CCA Florida, which is a huge help in hiring great lobbyists to fight for us in Tallahassee as well as Washington.
No, it sure is. Great reminder for all of our viewers.
All right, well, let me take a look at the hot spots, the Startron hot spots from the Central West region. Captain Jeffrey says you should go inshore, gonna go tarpon fishing in the afternoon on the outgoing hill tide with free-lined or cork pass crabs in all Central West inlets and passes. And then offshore, gag grouper. Look for those good keeper gags holding on the ledges and the breaks in as close as 50 feet of water. Use live pinfish, or you might want to troll those X-Rap 30s. That's the big Rapalas.
Alrighty, when we return, we're going to have the Costa Conservation Minute, and we'll check in with Mike Holliday in the East. Don't miss it.
The Chevy Florida Insider Fishing Report is brought to you by Rapala. Catch the latest at Rapala.com. Reactor, the best built performance sports watch, period. Startron, cures and prevents ethanol fuel problems. Strike Zone Fishing. Sufix, the world's most hardcore fishing line. And Yamaha, reliability starts here.
At highway speeds, things can get pretty windy. That's why the Chevrolet Cruze Eco has active aero grille shutters that close at higher speeds to improve aerodynamics. With an EPA estimated 42 miles per gallon highway, the Chevrolet Cruze Eco offers the best highway fuel economy of any gas engine in America. Always thinking of ways to give you more, while using less. That's American ingenuity to find new roads.
For over 30 years, Guy Harvey has masterfully captured the wonder of marine wildlife in his artwork. Now he's sharing his inspiration with the Florida Lottery by creating 12 exclusive images for the Collector Series Guy Harvey Scratch-Off game, featuring a top prize of $50,000 and a second chance opportunity to fish with Guy Harvey himself. Celebrate the beauty and riches of Florida with Guy Harvey Scratch-Off games today. The Florida Lottery. Just imagine.
You already know about the La Jolla Resort in Isla Mirada, so let's talk about the La Jolla experience. With an on-site boat ramp, the Gulf of Mexico and the Atlantic is just minutes away. And when you return from fishing, there's barbecue pits to cook your catch while your family enjoys the pool or one of our new remodeled rooms. This historic resort, the La Jolla, is family-owned and operated and has a friendly staff ready to make your La Jolla experience a really great one.
You know there's more to it than luck. There's fishing the right bait, the water temperature, the wind, the season, and then there's the boat. We'll put it simply, the boat matters. To own a Contender is to own the best sport fishing boat on the market, period. Contender offers the most comprehensive model range with bigger, faster, and more fuel-efficient boats than the competition. There's only one choice for serious anglers. Contender Boats. Performance through innovation.
Today's Costa Conservation Minute is about fishing fish that are very spooky. And when that happens, guys, more often than not, what we need to do is downsize. So let's give you a good example. The typical bass assassin that we use starts off as a 5-inch jerkbait. All right, but what we've found is as the fish become more educated, more spooky, you might want to downsize. Look at the difference in this 4-inch sea shad. Even if the fish even become more spooky, look at the two differences in dye dappers. A 3.5-inch dye dapper, very small silhouette, versus the typical 5-inch dye dapper. Now we found that whenever we're fishing tarpon on the ocean down in the Florida Keys, we might go to fish flies that are the size of bonefish flies. So these are some good examples. When you got fish that are very difficult, go down in size. Also downsize your leaders. 3/4 ounce gold spoon, very popular bait to catch snook and redfish on. But you can actually even go down to either a 1/4 or a 1/16 ounce, and you'll find that you'll get more bites when the fish are very spooky. That's today's Costa Conservation Minute. That's some secret stuff right there, man. I let that cat out of the bag. I know that's gonna bite me, but you know what? Captain Harry's gonna sell a lot of short stuff. We're gonna have a whole Irish aisle, little tiny things.
Let's see what Mike Holliday has to say about that. Now it's time to head east where Captain Mike Holliday is. And we've just started high time for Marlin where you are, right?
That's really the truth, Lauren. You know, July and August are two of the top blue marlin months in my region. The same time the bonita show up, the marlin arrive to feed from their ranks. Rod bonita, one of the top blue marlin baits. Anywhere you find 100 feet of water or more, you'll get concentrations of bonita and the potential to attract the blue marlin. That being said, there are certain areas that attract blue marlin in my region, like the Deep Water Ledge, and Push Button Hill, which is a seamount or an atoll in 420 feet of water, 12 miles southeast of the St. Lucie Inlet. You can target blue marlin with a cone head lure in that Halloween color, you know, that black and orange or purple and black. Or you control, horse ballyhoo or Spanish mackerel. But probably the most successful way to draw a blue marlin in the spread is to bridle 5 to 12 pound live bonita, slow troll it along that 28 fathom ledge. And you want at least 50 pound tackle. 80 pounds probably a better option. 300 pound monofilament leader, 10-0 to 12-0, 4X strong circle hook. Average blue marlin in my region, 100 to 400 pounds. Just to give you an idea of what you can run into. I got a photo there. That's Captain Scott Fawcett of Off the Chain Charters in Stewart. He found that 400 pound blue marlin. It was just cruising on the surface in 136 feet of water back in May. He pitched a live thread into the fish, and they caught it and released it unharmed. So you never know what you're going to run into out there.
All right, Mike, before we go offshore, I'm going to take a look at the Navionics from your region. Now, guys, we're talking about right off of Lake Worth. Now, what Captain Mike says about this region, which is really, really cool, is if you notice, we actually have the shore, not the shoreline, but the actual depth line really comes in close. And Mike says what ends up happening is these blue marlin, as well as the bonitas and the blackfin tunas, which is what the marlin are looking for, they actually follow this ledge. He just reported that these fish are in 136 feet of water. That one was hooked. He says you don't have to fish more than about 250 feet of water. Don't push offshore, because if you do, you're going to be out of the fish. All right, Mike, what else you got for us offshore?
Well, the dolphin is picked up with those southeasterly winds. That's really stacking up the speed, the rips, the current edges, and it's blowing the floating debris to the western side of the Gulf Stream. Now, the fish are scattered this time of year in anywhere from 200 to 1,000 feet of water or more. What you want to do is run until you basically see something that looks good, be it a weed line or a current edge, and then fish that area for 20 or 30 minutes. If you don't see a lot of sea life or bait in the area, excuse me, just pick up and look for something better. But if you do hook up, note the depth you're in and work that depth both north and south looking for more fish. Cover water by trolling with either, a skirt and bonito combo or a rigged ballyhoo. Or, and you always want to have some live baits in the well to toss around the floating boards or around the trees. And a lot of dolphin are going to be schoolies under 15 pounds, so try to keep only the fish that you're going to eat, And as always, you want to keep a fish in the water, attract the rest of the school, have some spinning rods rigged with a 4-0 head and some cut bait nearby. Majority of fish you're going to find this time of year are going to come off of floating debris or weed lines, so you want to have a good pair of binoculars on board, and every 10 minutes just stop the boat, scan the horizon in all directions, and look for floating objects or diving birds, and you'll find those dolphins.
Hey, Mike, be real careful moving around. I'm losing your signal in and out on that phone, so go ahead and tell me what's happening inshore, please.
Okay, well, this weekend's new moon, that should really signal the movement of snook to all the east. Now, these fish are here, so just handle them carefully and make sure you revive the fish before letting them go. Our male snook will be hiding tight to the rock piles in the shorelines, while the larger snook will be out away from the structure and anywhere from 6 to 15 feet of water. You'll also see a lot of fish moving on beachfront haunts, places like the lake and piers or numbers of fish, as well as Stewart Beach, Waveland Beach,
All right.
North Steady Park and Fort.
All right, what's going to happen here is Mike actually has kids, and they like to use the phone the same time Daddy's using the phone. We all experience that at home. But anyway, so Mike's telling us basically you're going to target these snook in the low light conditions. You want to throw topwater plugs, swimming plug, lipless crankbaits, 3.5-inch dye dappers in those sea shad, 4-inch, water buoyant color, copper juicing color from the shallow to deep. You make sure you throw up on the beach, up near the shallow stuff, and bring it out. When the sun gets up, you want to switch to live bait. You want to use live pilchards, sardines, thread fins, a sand perch on a 4.0 VM circle hook. Toss this bait up current so it allows the bait to drift down naturally, allows it to swim in the current so that the snook are there to ambush it. The average snook in his region right now, 5 to 12 pounds, with some fish being caught over 20 on a daily basis. Now he has a photo, and this is Captain Larry Jones of Fort Pierce, caught this nice snook at nighttime around the dock lights, of course. This dock, the docks were inside Fort Pierce Inlet, and he has lots of big fish around them right now, so you might want to go nighttime snook fishing, get out of the heat. The next species he has is tarpon. While they're on the tail end of the tarpon migration, with about 2 more weeks of fish pushing up the beaches, the majority of the fish have moved into their summer haunts. Places like Big and Little Mud Creeks, some mooring channels, holding fish at the first light, all of these places and the inlets are where the bigger fish are found. Blue Heron Bridge, Riviera Beach, Crossroads, areas, Stewart, the Turning Basin, and Fort Pierce. The way you want to target these fish, some of the smaller inshore tarpon, you can use small live mullet. You can use the Houdini colored sea shad and throw that to rolling fish. Let it sink for 3 to 4 seconds and reel it back as slowly as you can. Then a little trick of the line is make sure that you use, when you're using live bait, to make sure, again, throw it out there and make sure you leave it in a free lining mode. Now, bass, in Lake Driffin and the Harris Chain, it's on fire. They're catching limits of 5 fish, 19 pounds, lipless crankbait, salt and pepper colored sea shads on a Cinco style. The Kissimmee grass beds have lots of fish. The Harris Chain has lots of fish. Look for those things early in the morning before it gets hot. All right, we're gonna take a look at the Bennett Auto Supply hotspots from the East region. Captain Mike says, inshore, tarpon snook permit at Fort Pierce Inlet on the outgoing tide. Live shrimp, crabs, mullet, or pilchards and tarpon best bite at night, just like he said, or I said, mangrove snapper, 60 to 90 feet of water off St. Lucie County. Live or dead pilchard, Spanish sardine, cigar minnows, best bite has been in the afternoon and the evenings. And I guess I get paid for his report tonight. That's what I'm talking about.
As I say, we're going to head to break. We'll call Mike back and tell him now he can order that pizza.
That's right.
That should have waited just a minute. Okay. And when we get back, we're going to tell you what's coming up next week. Stay with us.
For over 30 years, Guy Harvey has masterfully captured the wonder of marine wildlife in his artwork. Now he's sharing his inspiration with the Florida Lottery by creating 12 exclusive images for the Collector Series Guy Harvey Scratch-Off game, featuring a top prize of $50,000 and a second chance opportunity to fish with Guy Harvey himself. Celebrate the beauty and riches of Florida with Guy Harvey Scratch-Off games today. The Florida Lottery. Just imagine.
You really couldn't come at a better time. These Chevys are moving fast.
I'll take that Malibu.
Yeah, excuse me. The Equinox and Atlantis Blue is mine.
I was here first. It's mine.
I called about that one. It's mine.
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 It's mine.
It's mine.
No, it's not. It's mine.
Better get going. It's Chevy's Independence Day celebration.
The Chevy Independence Day celebration. Now, current Chevy truck owners can trade up to this 2013 Chevy Silverado All-Star Edition with a total value of $9,000.
Hi. I lost a big fish earlier today. Wasn't using Sufix. It was about this big.
Look, slow down there, cowboy, okay? A fish in the lobster van, huh? You want your fish. Sorry, honey, that fish is gone.
Always use the best line, Sufix 832.
It's got the punch of a heavyweight and the pounds of a lightweight. Welcome to the main event featuring the new Yamaha 4-stroke F70, tipping the scales at up to 142 pounds lighter than its 4-stroke competitors. That's a class-leading power-to-weight ratio, a haymaker of a whole shot, surprising mid-range punch, incredible fuel economy, and industry-leading innovation, performance, and reliability. The Yamaha 4-stroke F70. Reliability starts here.
If you like fishing or the history of fishing, then I have a must-see place for you. The IGFA Fishing Hall of Fame and Museum in Dania Beach. What makes the IGFA so cool is that they have theaters where you can learn about the journey of fishing, galleries where the kids can see antique reels or catch a big one. The Hall of Fame room has over 140 beautiful fish mounts, and maybe in the E.K. Harry Library, you may see a live alligator. For more family fun, go to IGFA.org.
Next week, we're talking amberjack. Make sure to check us out next Thursday, July 11th. You can also catch repeats on Friday and Saturday. Just visit Sun Sports and your local listings for more details.
Harry, thanks for coming in and
great to be
last
here,
couple
as
weeks
usual.
Serving up for Dave. I appreciate you.
Yeah,
it's all right.
Always
hey,
good to have you.
I love it here. So it's a good time with all you guys.
Yeah, man. We got the 4th of July weekend. We'll be at Daytona. What are you guys doing? Where are you going with Tony?
Pocono Raceway.
All right,
big
good
race
luck
this
to you,
weekend.
Tony. Hope
yeah.
you do well.
Thanks,
and
guys.
Harry, what are you doing?
I'm just going to chill out at the parade on Key Biscayne and probably go out on the boat with the kids.
Sounds nice.
All right, well, guys, all of you guys have a safe,
That's
happy
right, be
4th
safe.
of July.
Oh, yeah.
And more importantly, hey, don't forget to watch Sportsman's Adventures. Got a lot of big fish being caught this week.
Cheers.
Cheers.